Good morning to those who listen. It's January 7th, 2021, 2:48 a.m. I'm just doing a quick update on what's going on. So, my mom's been drinking for a while. It's been, I don't know exactly, at least 28 days in a row. Darn it, here she comes again. I need some prayers because this is going on. And then today, or actually yesterday I talked to my neighbor who I told him about the situation, and he's a Christian and a wonderful person, and he came over and prayed with my mom. And he prayed with her. She agreed. She promised in front of me and him that she was going to try to quit drinking and definitely quit smoking. And she agreed that as long as I gave her a little bit to wean off at a time, that she would agree to it. Well, once she got to be drinking too much again, then that went out the door. Fast forward to later on, she just kept getting madder and madder and demanding, more alcohol. And I said, we're, trying to wean you off, because for your health's sake. And then about 11:30 p.m. tonight, she was really getting out of hand. She was threatening to kill herself, threatening to overdose. And she's saying she's wanted to die. And so then I was going to text my neighbor, but it was getting late. Or was that a little bit earlier? It was a little bit earlier than that. But still, it was late. And I didn't really want to bother him unless I had to. So I had a draft. I had the draft up, but I didn't send it. And then it was around midnight, and she's sitting in the chair, and she's complaining that she doesn't have more alcohol. And then all of a sudden, she just slumps over and passes out. And then she started foaming from the mouth and started coughing and gasping for air. But when she first slumped over, I went over to her immediately, and she wasn't responsive. And I wasn't seeing her breathing. It was like I don't know for exactly, but to me it seemed like for about 10 seconds she wasn't breathing. I immediately called 911, and they told me, and I'm glad that the 911 operator was listening to everything that was going on, because she was doing a lot of weird stuff in the background. But of course, by the time the paramedics got there, things changed. But anyway, so when I first called 911, she wasn't responsive, and she was like foaming at the mouth, like trying to throw up, I guess. But it was like just clear with bubbles. And then I kept putting her forward, trying to revive her while I was talking on the phone with her. Then all of a sudden she started gasping for air, like, and it was really loud. And I'm like, "Are you okay?" And then the operator's hearing all this, and she's sending out the ambulance and everything. By the time the paramedics got there, she was at least coherent somewhat, even though everybody knew, the paramedics, the police, they all knew that she was highly intoxicated. And then I showed the police what she drank. She drank a whole gallon of wine in less than 12 hours. It was really bad. So I'm glad I went to the neighbor, because he knows the situation, and he's trying to help, and he's praying. So I'm asking just for prayers I've talked to the neighbor, and he told me to dump the rest of the alcohol. That it isn't going to do her any good. She's just going to keep, or she keeps, her body's going to keep needing it. So I was like, I don't know if I should do that. Maybe I should save a little bit. So he agreed to the little bit. But then, when she woke up, she got mad that I dumped it, and she's mad that I only left her a little bit. But he said that in the long run she'll thank us for doing that. But he's suggested tomorrow he's going to come over and talk with her and see if she'll go into rehab. My mom has complained for years that rehab doesn't work, and it never really did. I mean, it does for a little while, but then anyway, she doesn't think that her insurance will pay for it. Now, there was a point in time where she was going. She's went about 8 times in the last 16 years. And there was a period where I think she went 3 times within 2 years, and I think 5 times within 5 years or something like that. And the insurance said they wouldn't cover it anymore. So I don't know. But if anything, I thought, if anything, she can go to the hospital for 1 day so she can kind of just detox, even if it's just 1 day, at least and that would only be like 1 day in the hospital instead of whatever, the 3 days. I don't know, but it's gone beyond the point of. So that's why I've been asking for prayers. I thought I was going to be having to move out, which I still might have to. But I worry about her. What's going to happen if she's alone? Oh, and by the way, too, it was weird because in the first hour and a half, she only had like 1 glass of wine, but she acted like she was blasted, which is really strange. It usually takes her, a lot more to start that happening. So I don't know, maybe she had some other liquor stashed away somewhere or something's really wrong. That little bit would do that. She fell down 5 times during the day and night. And one of the times when she fell, she couldn't get up at all, and she wouldn't let me help her. And every time I tried to help her up, she would force herself down on purpose. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on forever. I want to make this quick. And just say a prayer for my mom, that God, Jesus will intervene and take that lust for alcohol away from her, because this is killing her. I'm really surprised that she hasn't died already, because this has been going on for like 16 years. And now I got a little bit recorded, but not much. Every time I tried to get the recording, I missed it. But she's been threatening to kill herself, threatening to overdose on Xanax. I took, the paramedics, and my neighbor also told me, take her medications away so she doesn't take any, because she's already on alcohol, drinking alcohol. She doesn't need any Xanax or any of her other prescriptions. Besides, she already took her prescriptions for the day. She already took Xanax for the day too, while she was drinking. So, that's not good either. But she said, "Oh, I'm going to take them all." But I got them, so. And then she said, "Well, I got some more in the back bedroom. I'm going to overdose." And then I said, "Well, you're just going to, we're right at the end. And you're going to give up your soul, to go to hell." She said, "Yep, I want to go to hell." It's like terrible. And normally I don't think she would ever say that if she was sober. But, it's like, it's got so, she's so much controlled by this. It's unbelievable. And I showed the police, what some of the things that I didn't have much room on my phone to record much, but showed them the one right before she passed out and started foaming at the mouth. I recorded, what she was doing. She started making all these weird noises and stuff, but it was weird because for some reason the audio didn't come out. But anyway, the whole thing is just say a prayer. Brenda, thank you so much. And anybody that's here, welcome and God bless you. And I appreciate any prayers. Brenda, thank you so much. Yes, I will also pray for your husband too. Yes, yes. It's getting to that point, and I know it's not going to work out. So I told her I'm going to leave, and she says, "No, why should you leave? I'm going to leave." I said, "Okay, fine. Then you leave, and I'll stay here." "Oh, why should you stay here?" It's like, make a choice. Make a choice. Yeah, it's been a toll on me, and my neighbors worried about me too. But when she slumped over, to me, it looked like she wasn't breathing for like 10 seconds. And then she started foaming at the mouth. And then she started like she couldn't breathe and she couldn't talk. And I'm like trying to even, she just, all she could do was like look at me. She couldn't say no words or nothing. And then by the time the paramedics got there, then she could. But at least the 911 operator heard all that stuff. So I told I don't know if this is possible, but I told the paramedics and the police, listen to the 911 call and you'll hear, what was going on. Because, she acted like nothing was going on. Oh, I'm fine. There's nothing wrong at all. And I'm not drunk. I'm fine. I'm perfectly sober. Ugh. So I don't know. It's a lot on me too, especially since I'm just gonna kill myself. You're gonna make me kill myself because you won't give me any more wine. It makes me feel terrible, and then all these things that, all this verbal abuse that goes on, she won't remember the next day. But if I say one thing mean to her, oh, how could you say that? I don't know. I don't want to. I'm totally exhausted. I've been dealing with this for a while, but for a while when she was just drinking, she was off to herself. And then it got to the point, I guess I'm not kidding, man. She's drinking, she buys these jugs of wine and they're 2 gallons. And she drinks, there's been like 5 times where she drank the whole 2 gallons in one day. It's insane amount. Oh, if I went to the bar, I could drink that much and they wouldn't do nothing. I said, no, they wouldn't. They would stop. They would stop serving you. There's no way they would let you drink that much. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen. I have some choices though, which is nice. I'm glad for that. I talked to the neighbor. He said there's a house right down the street. Hi, Tina. Welcome. God bless. There's a house down the street. He said that's rent for 400. That's pretty good for a house. I'm in a town that there's a lot of empty houses and a lot of empty apartments too, for that matter. I'd rather live in a house because then I'm not around a bunch of people. And we're in a bad area, even though we just moved back down to orange level. We have 1,000 people out of 12,000 people that have tested positive. So, who knows how many there actually really are, but that's a lot for that little bit of population. I don't know, man. I don't know. But I don't know what else I can do. I'm hoping that my neighbor can come over and convince her to go to rehab and get some help. I don't know if that'll work, but it's worth a try. And if at least it'll help for, even if it's temporary, because we've done this many, many times. There's one time she went like 3 months without having any problems. And all the rest of the times when she went to rehab, it was like 3 days. And then the day she gets out or the day after she gets out, boom, right back to drinking. And it's like, I don't want to stop somebody from drinking if they want to. I mean, that's their choice. But when it comes down to, you're killing yourself. You're a risk to yourself. You can't. I mean, she's literally falling down all the time now. Whenever she's drinking, it used to be even when she was really drunk, she wouldn't fall down, but now she's falling down a lot. And she's passing out a lot, and that scares me. And tonight was really scared because I really thought she was dead. I really did. I thought that was it. But then she started breathing again. So really, there's nothing else. I just wanted to tell you what was going on. I've been wanting to do the Bible study for a while. I gave up on doing the 80s. Gave up on that because it's just not worth it. It's just not worth it, especially right now. So I'm just gonna. All I can do is pray and ask for some more prayers from you guys. That's all I can do, and God has to do the rest. I'm putting it in God's hands. That's all I can do. And I got some help from the neighbor. I think somehow, some way that God put me where I'm at next door to another brother in Christ. And he's awesome, man. He's helped me a lot with my car and stuff, and he helps me when I'm with my mom what he can. I don't know. It's just it's very exhausting and it's stressful. And last couple of days, not today, even though today was very stressful too, and yesterday was too, but the day before, I practically had a nervous breakdown. And I haven't had, I haven't been that stressed out. I mean, I've been stressed out a lot over the last 5 years, but this is like the worst it's been in 5 years. I've had a lot of crazy, bad, stressful times. So I'm just trying to make it through. I'm just waiting on God, and I'm waiting on God for what to do. So if the most logical thing, which she's agreed to, but then disagreed with, but then agreed to, and then disagreed. The Yes, I'm so thankful for my neighbor. I really am. He's a great guy, and his wife is too. But she's in a wheelchair, so she can't really help, in that way. But she helped. She said a prayer tonight too. So yes, I thank God for her too. My breathing's a little bit better the last, well, pretty much just today and half of yesterday. She ran out of cigarettes, so she hasn't smoked at all in 2 days. So that helps me a little bit right at the present time. But it's a lot. It's a lot, and the reason I came is to Steph. Welcome, God bless. That used to be my nickname, was Steph. And well, she just goes so far beyond, though. I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, I get it because she's an alcoholic. I thank God that it's skipping a generation between. So me and my sister are not. And my sister, well, I don't know. She's been drinking more lately in the last couple of years, but she used to drink maybe 1 or 2 wine coolers a year. It was not hardly anything. And me, I don't drink that much. And when I do, I only have a few. I know when to quit. I don't. I never go to get drunk. And even that's, I don't know. It used to be like once every couple months, once every 3 months. But then it would only be a few. Anyway, that doesn't matter. This matters because, and I keep saying, we're trying to help you. And the neighbor, he actually, came over and prayed and laid hands on her and prayed. And she was all in agreement, that it needs to stop. But then it's like, I need a little bit to wean off. So we made an agreement that she would wean off a certain amount, you know. Yes, the hard times are ahead, and it's just, uh, it sucks because, we're so close to the end, and her being is just like, the devil is in her. And we're too far in the game for her just to lose her soul now. And when she's sober, she realizes everything. She's right there. But when she drinks, it's like she doesn't care about nothing else at all. Nothing. And she wanted she wanted to go and get some more alcohol. I told her it's 2:30 in the morning. Well, now it's 3. But I told her at 2:30 it's 2:30 in the morning. Nothing is open. Oh, there's convenience stores open. Well, if they're open, they're not going to sell alcohol. And oh, I got I'm going to start walking. I'm going to start walking to the store. There's nothing open. I hear that. But see, her thing is she drinks until she passes out, and then she'll sleep like an hour, hour and a half, and then wake up again, and she has to drink immediately. Most people, when they drink, they'll drink, and then they'll go to sleep, and they'll sleep 8 hours, and then they'll wake up, and then they won't be drinking again at least until the next day or the next night. But it's like if she wakes up an hour or two later, hour and a half later, whatever it is, just to immediately start drinking again. Right. And she's, blaming me now because the neighbor told me because she still had half a jug left, a gallon of wine left. And he said, dump it all. It's better for her this way. And I said, well, maybe I shouldn't dump it all. Maybe I should save just a little bit at least. But I guess he was probably right because she was like all just complaining. That's all you left me was this half a glass of wine. I said, well, it's better than nothing. Just drink it and go to bed. Oh, I'm gonna go. I'm leaving. And then this. I'm gonna kill myself. I'm gonna take all the Xanax. Uh, yeah. See, we've been through all this before for many many years. 16 years it's been going on. And me and my sister both tried to help her, but every time, she's good for a while. Then something happens where she gets upset about something or worried about something. Oh, and then she has to have a drink to calm down. And I understand the calming down thing, but you don't drink a gallon of wine to calm down or a whole fifth of vodka to calm down. That's way too much. It's ridiculous. I remember there was one time where I drank a whole fifth of something back when I was like 20 years old. But there's no way. Not even half. Again, sorry for uh, sharing bad news, but uh, I just wanted to let you guys know what's going on and to ask for some prayers because I need some intervention here and because it's never going to ever change. The only thing is, I think we're going to have to be apart from each other. Either she's going to have to move or I'm going to have to move. And the reason I said it's more logical for me to stay right where I'm at here is because my stuff is she doesn't have anything really, for stuff, and I would have to move all the stuff over. And if it was, and see, the thing is I have my sister's stuff too here in this house. So suppose whenever I go back to Iowa, I was supposed to bring her stuff back to an U-Haul. So it'd be a lot more of a hassle, even though it would cost me more here. But then again, I might be able to find a roommate or something, and then it wouldn't be. She says she found a place for $385. I don't know if it was one or two bedroom, probably just one. It was $385, and it was furnished and all utilities paid. Well, I think I mentioned that already, didn't I? Sorry. And I was like, well, I'll take that one. But then when I look in the newspaper, it's not there. But then I found something which might be something else that might, you never know. God might be working this way. Remember, I was on Section 8 before. I saw an ad in the paper for HUD and low income housing. They've never had that here before. I'd have to go like another 150 miles away from here to find some place that was doing it. And there, they had a short wait list, which was only 6 months, which I could have done that, which I should have probably done it in, but I thought everything was going to work out here. But if there's a chance for me to get Section 8 here, and they're just starting it now, maybe I could get on quick and get my own place. And then the neighbor also said that for his wife, they get some services that where somebody comes and helps clean the house and helps them do their daily tasks and stuff, and to check on them. But he doesn't need them to check on her, but helps out with the house and the housework and stuff like that. So he said that's free an option they could try, and I don't remember how often they come. I think he said that was 2 or 3 times a week or something. Then I could visit her on the other days to make sure she's doing all right. That was about the only way I can think that it would work, where I could still kind of watch her a little, because I'm afraid as soon as I'm not here or she moves away, then something's going to happen, especially if she has full reign over what she wants, what she can do. And if she just constantly drinks, I'm serious, she'll just keep drinking every single day without stop. Sorry. Thank you, Tina, for the prayers. Thank you. Yeah, I called about it today and they didn't answer, so I left a message. So I should hear from them tomorrow. I hate to, but this is something that has to be done. We've done interventions before, and one time we were gonna put her away, for a while because of she was doing harm to herself, and she was doing harm to my sister, and so then at the last minute she agreed, okay, I'll go into rehab, but uh, then she backed out of that at the last minute too. Steph, yes, I definitely agree with that. Yes, and that's the thing. I know God's in control. That's why I come here to you guys. I love you guys for that, and I know that if I ask for some prayers, um, that you'll say some prayers for me and for my situation and everything. And you guys always know that I will pray for you guys too. That's not good either, but at least it's not as bad as binge drinking. So yes, thank you everyone for the prayers too. And then I got to remember Brenda. Brenda, we're going to pray for your husband too. Hopefully, he's not as bad as my mom. I mean, there's certain kind of drunks. Most of the people that I know, friends that I have, when they drink, they just drink and get silly, or when they get drunk, they get really tired and sleepy. But when my mom drinks, she gets all violent and crazy. And you're welcome. Used, abused, and confused. Welcome. God bless. Drinks all day. Yeah, see, that's the same with my mom. It doesn't matter what time of the day it is. Like today, I think she started. Well, usually it doesn't matter. Whenever she starts, then it goes into the night, and then there's a little break, and then it's like 4 in the morning, 6 in the morning, she starts going again. It's crazy. And there's so much going on too. And just a quick mention of all this craziness that happened today at the Capitol. I don't know about you guys. I'm just going to say this is a crazy theory, but I really think that because here's how I saw things happen today. They were talking about the states. They got to Arizona, and the one congressman stood up and said that him and 60 others representatives were not going to acknowledge Biden is winning the state. Yes, that's true. That too. And then they said that they had to take a recess. They took a recess and came back. And then I think it was Mike Pence. He said, "Is there anybody else that objects for Arizona?" And then another guy stood up and said, "Yes, I object." And there's going to be others from Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Georgia that are going to say the same thing. And then right after that was when all the chaos started happening. So to me, this is just a scenario that's a possibility, I guess. What if the Democrats decided, okay, let's send some pretend current president supporters and storm the buildings and break windows and violence and all this? Because when the first guy stood up and said 60 representatives from Arizona are not going to what's the word whatever to Biden, then a bunch of them stood up and started clapping and applauding and screaming and yelling. Yeah, and they made it out like it was all his fault when he was the one who was trying to tweet and everything that everybody needs to be peaceful and calm and leave. But guess what? They banned him. They banned his posts. Unbelievable. 2 nights ago. See that I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it. It doesn't take much. And then how do we know how many of those current president supporters went in there? And at the point where this was at, for the whole time, the current president supporters were always peaceful and not violent and not destroying property and everything. And if the point came to where suddenly Arizona and other states were talking about not confirming Biden in, why would they storm the place? Everything would be going, that would have been their last chance. They would be ruining their last chance of having, the truth exposed. Right. See, that's what I don't understand either. Everybody that has a mind to think and looks into this stuff can see the fraud. Oh, you're fine. You're fine. No, you're absolutely fine. But to me, it just seems like a setup. So then, all these representatives from all these states were going to not confirm or whatever the word is, I can't seem to think of, for Biden. Then suddenly everything happened. Send in, send in the protesters, the looters, send them in, and then now we have to evacuate we got to evacuate Congress, and now there all these people with guns are coming in and tear gas. Oh my goodness, there's somebody sitting in Nancy Pelosi's seat. Oh, look at this. Come on. Really? Wouldn't you think that would just totally ruin the president's chances? So what would the current president supporters gain out of screwing everything up? So it doesn't make any sense to me. Right. And the evidence was finally coming out. So we finally, evidence was finally coming out of Arizona, and then there was supposedly more states that were going to, and then after all this happened, then all these Republicans suddenly turned and stopped supporting the current president. On which girl? On the woman that got shot and killed in the neck? It's all good. It's all good. I'm talking about the woman that got shot and killed in the neck. That was, I would like to know the whole story behind that because it seems unreasonable. There was hundreds of people storming through the doors, but the police couldn't control her. So, this is how they put it too. He had to put her down. Who says that on the news? Come on. Yeah. See, that's the whole thing. That's what makes me the maddest about the whole thing is they won't even look at the evidence. Why won't they look at the evidence? That's a big red flag. Dion, welcome. God bless. Oh, are you talking about Tanya Roberts? I never did look into that story, if that's what you're talking about. All right, so I'm gonna go. I'm exhausted, totally exhausted. I know in the morning things are gonna, all hell's gonna break loose, and I'm hoping that she's at least sober enough to realize, yes, she needs help. So there's another prayer. Pray that she realizes that she needs help and that she will accept help and that God will just help her out, help her to break the addiction. All right. Well, this started off with just prayers for my mom. But yeah, our country needs prayers too. Everyone's, the whole world needs prayers with everything going. It's not. It's just not certain countries. It's the whole world. Thank you, used, abused, and confused. Have a good rest of the morning. God bless you. I'm trying. I'm really trying. Space Cat, welcome. God bless. Well, yeah, he is now until the 20th. Here's what I think is going to happen. Here's what I think. I think the current president won the election, but he will not be the president. And I'm making a bold prediction here. It might not be too bold. I don't know. I'm going to make a prediction that Kamala Harris will be president by summer. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Gotcha. Thank you, Tina, and thank you. God bless you. Orlando. I used to live in Orlando. So thank you, Tammy. God bless you. I would have assumed you were a man just because of the name. I don't know. It's weird how people, you can take a name and not know. Sorry. But thank you, Tammy. Sunny disposition. God bless you. But again, just say some prayers for my mom and just pray for God's will to be done because that's all I ever ask for. And that's all we should ever ask for that, no matter what it is, that gets God's will is done in this situation. But in this situation, I think she really needs to get some help. And it's been long overdue again. But, it just seems like it never works. So me and my sister always just kind of gave up because it never seemed to work. Fish and chips sounds good. Something a little bit even better than Long John Silver's. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate all the prayers. All right. So I'm gonna go. Thanks for watching. I didn't mean to make it this long. I was just gonna make it like 5 minutes. But then people started coming in, which is fine. So right before I moved to Colorado in November of last year, I ate at Long John Silver's. I mean, they're good, but I bet you it's better over in the UK, right? Thanks for watching. God bless everybody. I love you. And gotta make sure I remember to say a prayer for Brenda's husband to quit drinking. I'll make sure I do that before I fall asleep tonight. Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Oh, and also I'm going to try to get back to do the Bible readings again, but I'm not sure about the next couple of days. So we'll see what happens. I'll give you guys updates on what happens. And hopefully, my mom will agree to get some help when she sobers up a little bit. I'm hoping. God bless. Love you guys.